Hi everybody, happy Friday. I know it was kind of a rough day for AVCT. Pretty much another down day. Not too bad though. I mean, fairly flat overall, lots of consolidation. It does look like we are starting to form an inverse head and shoulders, so hopefully next week will be bullish. I do want to discuss the chart and what I'm seeing and my thoughts going forward. Guys, please remember nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD. And if you could smash that like button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it as it helps out with the algorithm. Let's get started. Okay, everybody. So this week started off very nicely. Once we hit that 121 bottom that we made, I believe it was last Friday, we started recovering, bouncing to the upside. And we're actually on our way to almost hitting $3 when, boom, they announced an offering. And even though it was private placement, of course, it just does not have a good reaction from retail, and the sell-off began. And guys, as much as we tried to recover this week, it just did not happen. And I'm going to be perfectly honest and tell you my thoughts on why. There's a couple of things that we've been waiting for filings for, and I have to say, with all due respect to this company, they really stink at filing bullish news. I mean, if I were running this corporation, I would be saying, hello, we need to get news out that we no longer are, in lieu of losing our NASDAQ uplisting because we met the $1 minimum bid requirement. No PR for that. Yes, it was tucked away in the filing where it mentioned that, but let's be honest. Most retail traders don't read that, and we need the PR to get out there, guys, in order for retail to be drawn to the stock because they react to news, and so don't the algorithms. It being hidden away in a filing does nothing for us. Absolutely nothing, unfortunately. Guys, we are still showing on NASDAQ to not be compliant with that 35 million microcap. However, I do believe that that is incorrect and just not updated as of this time. Because I do believe, based on the dates of that we should be in compliance, at least as of today. So hopefully it disappears the beginning of next week sometime. And then, maybe then, although I won't hold my breath, we might get something coming out from them saying that they've met NASDAQ compliance for both. But to be honest, guys, you have to really think about this. Is the fact that they don't want to tell us anything good to help their stock price just another sign that perhaps they're in the middle of, completing this sale of the company? I mean, you have to really think about it, because why is it they really don't care? Because they don't. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. There has to be something going on in the background that we don't have all the details of. So again, if you're in this like I am for a buyout play or a squeeze, whichever happens first, then the day-to-day price action really doesn't matter. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, I bought more shares today. I mean, what else are you going to do? You have to take advantage of the sale, right? So I bought more and averaged down because I'm looking at the big picture, and I do believe that basically, without telling us, every sign's pointing to the fact that they don't care. So clearly, something has to be going on. The free float has been updated in Webull for those 5 million shares that have been added. So you can now see the entire free float is 37 point. Oh, no, it wasn't. I apologize. That's the free float market cap. Never mind. The free float's still showing at 26.51 million, and shares outstanding is at 27.5 million instead of 32.5 million. So my apologies. That is not updated as of yet. But guys, just so you know, add 5 million to that. Anyways, the volume today was low compared to where it normally is. It was only at 4.45 million. Personally, I don't think there was a lot of algorithmic trading going on, but we're going to look at the trades in the dark pool in this video because the average volume is 6.52 million, and clearly we were under that. So that could also be a good thing because shorts might have slowed down, which would also decrease that. So one can be hopeful. Anyways, 52-week low is $1.21 and a 52-week high of $46.95. Now, going back to this chart for 1 minute, we still do have this big gap fill up, guys, and that's from approximately 315 to 394. So I will be looking for that gap to get filled. hopefully next week. But again, we really need something to drop, catalyst-wise, to draw people's attention back into the stock, because without that, it just doesn't seem that they are paying much attention to the stock, unfortunately. So let's go over real quickly the fact that this is not updated on Fintel. That's 52.69% short interest. There's only 100,000 shares left to borrow. So clearly someone was still shorting today, because this morning that number was higher, guys. And again, the short interest cost to borrow is between 23 and 24.82%. And as you know, this hasn't changed either. The short volume ratio between 46.57 and 55.98% for the last 2 weeks, with 52% today. And guys, once again, this is what we're looking at for FTDs for this week. Then next week, we have that huge 2,759,000 number. However, if you go to the following days, you can see it decreased again. And as you can see, the price was up here because this was pre-reverse split, right? So 34 cents, and it dissipates all the way down to 31, then 28 cents, and they're covering at that lower amount. So I just want to bring this to your attention again, because when they're in trouble for shares, which clearly they were when that price was rising up to almost $3, right? There was a lot of retail interest buying in at that time. Well, boom, they dropped the price, and what do, guys? Those shares that they were going to fail to deliver on, they get to cover for a lower price, because guess what? Retail, for whatever reason, the majority of them, they get scared and they sell at a loss. And I assure you that even the ones that bought high towards the top, that a lot of them have sold with $1 or more loss per share, which is pretty sad, because I don't have any other way to say it to you other than the fact that if I keep buying more and taking advantage of these lower prices, which is what you're supposed to do in this situation, then obviously I think that sets an example to you guys that I believe in this stock, or I wouldn't be doing this. Now, whether or not there is or is not a buyout, I still believe that this is highly undervalued. That's my personal opinion, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I definitely think at the very least we're going to get that gap fill, right? And if you're not already in this play, then I'd absolutely take a look, because you would be in a much better situation than the majority of retail, because this is almost at its all-time 52-week low. And I would not be surprised if before it rips, it didn't touch that 1.21 again and then rocket from there. However, maybe today's 1.29 was making a higher low. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you guys, because I really don't think technically this is making a whole lot of sense. It just seems to keep falling, and I am pretty sure that this dark pool rate of 73% of today's total volume was done in the dark pool. Guys, that's absolutely criminal. It really is, and that's disgusting. How do you take 73% of all trades off the exchange? Obviously, the price can't go up when they're hiding the shares, right? So I don't know how else to say it, but this is really, really crazy. And I think this has a lot to do with why the price is what it is. And I've seen this in many other trades. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hate the fact that Susquehanna is our market maker, because this is the same exact type of numbers that you would see, and you still do see, in BBIG. They're freaking thieves. They deserve to be investigated, and what they do and get away with and just get slapped with fines is absolutely disgusting. And you know what, guys? It's BS, but it is what it is, and we just have to learn to trade the trade. That's all you can do. Over the past 20 days, the average dark pool volume has been 42%. So notice it's increased lately. I have some thoughts about that, but I'm going to keep them to myself, because it might insult some people newly in this trade, because I have a feeling that Susquehanna is well aware of certain retail that have taken an interest in this play, and obviously they know how they trade, and unfortunately I think that this trade is now going to have some kind of effect to that, and it has to make you... Well, it's making me really consider the trade and where my exit strategy is going to be. However, there was some news today and something that I need to research over the weekend regarding a filing, and December, off the top of my head, I wrote it down, but it's not in front of me. But December 2nd or 8th or 18th or something, I don't know, somewhere in that range. I have to go and find the filing guys and actually read it because it was just brought to my attention. But it looks like a deal might be closing that has something to do with this trade. So we could be about 6 weeks away, right? If that date is accurate. So I want to look into that and see if I can bring you guys some more information. That will be my homework for the weekend. If I get to it, hopefully I can. But guys, that's 6 weeks. So just got to hang in there from now until then. I do think we get a run in between then. And let's see what happens. But also I want to bring to your attention that 13% of the volume today, which was a total of 516,200 shares, at a VWAP price of $1.37, were sweep orders. Sweep orders, guys, are an aggressive market maker or market participant move where they're taking liquidity in a certain direction for AVCT. So this could have been done to hold the price down. Again, it was Friday and there were monthly options on this play. And even though they got adjusted based, and I apologize, I didn't silence my phone, so forgive me. But they didn't they got adjusted with the reverse split, but they still do not want those options to get in the money because there were a lot more calls than there were puts. So I do think that also played, into the equation of today's price action. Again, that is my opinion, but I think that I'm pretty good at looking at options volume and figuring out which direction a stock is going to stay in price-wise range based on that, which is, fairly accurate. If you heard my morning call today, I was able to tell you that the market was going, my watch list, that the market was going to go up today based on the SPY being the max pain was $10 higher than where it was currently at. It was 373, and guess what? We finished the day at 375 because we just kept going up from there, which was fabulous. And actually, if you followed the flow, they were aggressively buying the 374 calls at over ask on the SPY, which is crazy. You don't see that very often. So I'm going to tell you right now that there was a lot of bullish action today, but guys, it's driven because the market makers drive it to where they're going to lose the least amount of money and make the most amount of money. So max pain is what's going to hurt retail the most, was at 373. And we were all the way down at what? 362 this morning? I mean, pretty different amount, right? I mean, that's a huge run. And if you guys played the SPY, congratulations, because you killed it. Anyways, I just wanted you to be aware of that. And also the block trades in AVCT, which represents institutional trading, accounted for 10% of the volume today for a total of 378,714 shares. And this is less than the average volume, which has been 23%. So, anyways, just something interesting to take into account. And that's Market Chameleon that I use to find that information, guys. It's not a paid service. Anybody can see that. If you guys missed my video showing institutional ownership, this is very important to look at when you're in a trade like this because it gives you an idea of the direction that institutions are playing. There's 48 institutions in total invested in AVCT. 42 of those are long. None of them are short. And 6 have a long-short position. Which means, guys, that a long-short position, either they have bought shares and are playing puts against them, or they're lending them out. One of the two. But the majority of them are long. 38.85% are long shares for 10,682,427 total shares. So, guys, that's pretty significant, and that tells me that not only are we bullish on this, but institutions are as well, which is huge. And you can see here, based on this chart, this is the institutional ownership. Now, a lot of these that have probably sold out, that was a lot of institutional ownership back in December of 17 to December of 2000, till June of 2020. Then it decreased, right? Because a lot of those players made money on the way up, sold out before it really started to go down. And then you probably had a lot of them shorting as well. And now, guys, I think they're going long again because you can see the volume starting to buy back into this, right? So this is bullish. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Oh, I do have one more slide. Oh, I wanted to show you that this is the latest institutional ownership in case you're curious. FNY had a call and a put, and it looks like they sold out of those and sold out of their shares. ZWJ Investments recently bought in. So that's a bullish thing for 10,122 shares. And Wedbush Securities bought in 15,000 shares. And then Cambridge Investment Research also bought in for 17,556 shares. And that's it for the month of October. But I just wanted to show you that this is all bullish buying. The call and the put, whether they wash each other out or whether, guys, well, it looks like those were sells. So my guess is they filed this because of the stock, having the stock reverse split, because there's no sense in holding calls and puts into a reverse split. It's just not a good thing to do. Either that or they were shorting the stock and they got out. One of the two. I'm not quite sure. I mean, this gives you limited information, and it doesn't show you any shares, so that's kind of odd within itself. So I'm confused with that one, but if you look at the other three, it's very bullish. So anyways, guys, have a fabulous weekend. Thank you so much for watching. And please let me know down below if you're still holding. All right. Have a great week.